Solzhenitsyn once wrote, "The simple step of a courageous individual is not to take part in the lie." A thought-provoking statement by a man who dared to bear the harsh realities of a brutal regime. This man, Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn, penned a seminal work that would shake the world, the Gulag Archipelago. Solzhenitsyn's work is not just a book, but a testament of courage, resilience, and the indomitable human spirit. An exposé of the Soviet Union's forced labor camp system, this literary masterpiece unveils the inhumane conditions, the relentless oppression, and the silent screams that echoed within the walls of the Gulag. Solzhenitsyn, himself a prisoner of the Gulag, dared to shine a light on the dark corners of the Soviet regime. He chose to wield the mightiest weapon he had, his words, and with these words he painted a chilling portrait of life within the archipelago. Each chapter of the Gulag Archipelago is a testament to the power of words, words that expose the truth, words that challenge the status quo, words that give voice to the voiceless. Solzhenitsyn's words were not just ink on paper, they were a clarion call to humanity, a demand for justice, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. His courage in writing about his experiences and the experiences of his fellow prisoners is a profound act of defiance. He refused to be silenced, refused to allow the truth to be buried under a mountain of lies. He chose to speak, to write, to bear witness, and in doing so he reminded us all of the power of words, the power to expose, to challenge, to change. In the face of oppression, Solzhenitsyn chose to speak the truth, a truth that would echo through the annals of history, a truth that would forever change our understanding of the Soviet regime, a truth that stands as a testament to the extraordinary power of words. Solzhenitsyn's journey begins with his arrest on the front lines during World War II. A decorated Red Army captain, he was detained for writing letters criticizing the Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. His words, inked onto paper, became the catalyst for a journey that would take him through the dark underbelly of the Soviet Union. His interrogation was not an isolated event, but a chillingly common experience. The Soviet legal system, a farcical entity, was not designed for justice. It served as a machine, grinding out sentences with cold, bureaucratic efficiency. The verdict was foregone conclusion: 8 years in a labor camp, a punishment as arbitrary as the system that devised it. The Soviet prison system, known as the Gulag, was a sprawling network of forced labor camps. It was a realm where humanity was discarded, a place that echoed with the despairing cries of those ensnared within its icy grasp. Solzhenitsyn was not merely sent to prison, he was consigned to a world where existence was a struggle and survival was a victory. In this realm of frozen despair, the prisoners were not considered humans but numbers, stripped of their identities and forced to endure harsh conditions. The biting chill of Siberia, the back-breaking labor and the constant threat of death were just a few of the daily realities in these camps. This was the reality that Solzhenitsyn was thrust into. A reality that would shape his worldview and fuel his future writings. The experience marked Solzhenitsyn, etching into his soul the stark realities of a system that devalued human life. His words, once a critique of a leader, now became a testament to the human spirit's resilience in the face of unimaginable hardship. Solzhenitsyn was not just a prisoner, he was a witness, documenting the inhumanity of a system designed to break the human spirit. Solzhenitsyn was plunged into the depths of the Soviet Union's brutal prison system. His journey through hell had begun, a journey that would illuminate the darkest corners of the Soviet Union, a journey that would echo through the annals of history. Life in the Gulag was a struggle for survival, a struggle against the biting cold, against the gnawing hunger, against the crushing despair. The Gulag was not merely a prison, it was a crucible. A place where men and women were stripped of their humanity and reduced to cogs in a vast, unfeeling machine. The prisoners were awoken before dawn, and their day began with a meager breakfast, often just a slice of bread and some watery soup. Then came the grueling labor in mines, in forests, in construction sites. They worked from sunup to sundown, their bodies pushed to the brink of collapse. And yet they pressed on, for to falter was to invite punishment, or worse, death. But the physical hardship was only part of the torment. The Gulag was a place of profound dehumanization. Prisoners were not treated as individuals, but as mere numbers, expendable and interchangeable. Their identities were erased, their spirits crushed. And yet, in this harshest of environments, Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn found something unexpected. In the Gulag, Solzhenitsyn discovered a profound truth about human nature. He saw that even in the most desperate circumstances, people could still choose to be kind, to be compassionate, to be human. He saw prisoners share their meager rations with those who were weaker, saw them comfort each other in their darkest hours. He saw that even in the face of unimaginable cruelty, the human spirit could not be extinguished. This realization gave Solzhenitsyn hope. It gave him the strength to endure, to resist, to survive. He understood that the capacity for good and evil resides in each of us, and that even in the Gulag, one could choose to be good. Despite the harsh conditions, Solzhenitsyn found a way to endure. He found a way to hold on to his humanity, to his dignity. He found a way to bear witness to the horrors of the Gulag so that the world would never forget. Solzhenitsyn believed in the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity. In the bleak and brutal confines of the Gulag, Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn underwent a profound transformation. The man who entered the prison was not the same man who emerged. The Gulag, as cruel and inhumane as it was, became a crucible for Solzhenitsyn, forcing him to confront the very essence of who he was and what he believed in. In the heart of this darkness, Solzhenitsyn discovered a beacon of hope, a spiritual awakening. He found solace in his faith. A faith that was not shaken by the horrors of the Gulag, but was rather fortified. His belief in God and the inherent goodness of humanity remained unbroken against all odds. This spiritual awakening became his shield, his sanctuary amidst the chaos and despair. But Solzhenitsyn's spirit was not solely nourished by his faith. He also found strength and purpose in his writing. Armed with nothing more than a pencil and scraps of paper, he set out to document his experiences, to bear witness to the atrocities of the Gulag. His writing was his rebellion, his form of resistance against a system designed to break him. It was a dangerous endeavor, one that could have cost him his life, yet he persisted. The Gulag Archipelago sent shockwaves through the Soviet Union and the world. This monumental work by Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn was first published in the West in 1973, with Russian copies circulating in samizdat, a clandestine copying and distribution method in the Soviet Union. It was a bombshell, revealing the depths of the Soviet Union's labor camp system to a world that had long been kept in the dark. Solzhenitsyn's vivid accounts of life in the Gulag and his analysis of the moral and political system that allowed such atrocities to exist were nothing short of revolutionary. The Gulag Archipelago shattered the image of the Soviet Union as a workers' paradise. It forced the world to confront the harsh realities of life under a totalitarian regime. The impact of the Gulag Archipelago was not confined to the borders of the Soviet Union. It sent ripples across the globe, influencing political and philosophical debates. It was a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the depths to which humanity can sink when individual rights and freedoms are disregarded. The Soviet authorities responded to the publication of the Gulag Archipelago with a campaign of vilification against Solzhenitsyn. He was accused of treason, expelled from the Soviet Union, and forced to live in exile. Yet his influence could not be silenced. From his new home in the United States, Solzhenitsyn continued to write, to criticize, and to bear witness to the truth. In the years since its publication, the Gulag Archipelago has been translated into dozens of languages and read by millions around the world. Its influence is still felt today, serving as a powerful warning against the dangers of totalitarianism. The Gulag Archipelago stands as a testament to the power of truth in the face of oppression,